Hi everybody, I'm going to show you how to do the herringbone stitch in combination style knitting. Basically in combination style knitting you end up purling a little differently, and I think it makes this stitch a little bit less tedious to do. And this does make for a nice dense fabric. I like it, it's pretty. This is Lion Brand's Fisherman Wool, I think in natural color. And if I remember correctly, the recommended needle size is size 8 or 9, around there. And I'm using size 13 9mm needles. So you have to go up a couple of needle sizes or else it's a little harder on the hands when you're doing the herringbone stitch. So I'm going to show how to do it on the purl side first, because that's what makes the knit stitches orient differently on the needles. Okay, so you purl the next two stitches, or first two stitches, wherever you're starting. So you purl two together, bringing the yarn between the needles over towards you on the right hand needle. Bring the yarn through the two stitches, dropping the first loop, keeping the second loop on, and then you just continue in that fashion. So next two loops, bring between the two needles the yarn, bring the yarn towards you around the right hand needle, purl the stitch, dropping the first loop, keeping the second loop on the left hand needle, purl the next two, bring yarn between the two needles over the right hand needle towards you, bring it through, dropping the first loop, and continuing on. Between the next two stitches, between the yarn between two needles over the right hand, drop first loop. Sorry, I'm like trying to look at my camera to make sure it's all correct. I'm doing it, within camera view. And I'm not. Okay, when you get to the last one, you can either just purl normally, or combination style normally, or you can just twist the purl, so knitting through this loop, and maybe it'll make a more a nicer looking edge, but this edge I didn't do any of that twisting and I think it looks fine. So with knitting, now the stitches are oriented where the back loop is in front instead of the back loop in back, like it's, I guess, supposed to be. But because they're oriented in this fashion, you no longer have to slip, slip, knit. Now you just knit two together. So that's something important to remember with combination knitting, is that knit two together is slip, slip, knit, and slip, slip, knit is knit two together when you're, I guess, looking at normal patterns. I don't know. With that one, I wish the people would say what style of knitting they're doing. But either way. So you just knit two together, slip the first stitch off the needle, then continue. So knit two together, slipping the first loop off of the needles, then go into the next two loops, knit two together, slipping the first stitch off of the needles, and see how the stitch is oriented. So you're just putting the needle right through, knitting the two together, slipping the first loop, keeping the second loop on, knit two together, slipping first loop. Whoop. Just go ahead and pick that one right up. Knit two together, slip one, knit two together, slip one off, knit next two, knit two together, slip one off, knit next two together, slip one off, knit next two together, slip one off, knit next two together, slip one off, and you just keep going in that fashion. Once you get to the last stitch, you just do the same thing that I did on the purl side, which was just knit one, or twist the stitch. Either one is fine. Again, I haven't really found a big difference, but preference. So anyway, so this is how you do the herringbone stitch in combination style knitting. And again, I find it a little less tedious because you're not having to constantly reorient the stitches like that. But different strokes for different folks. So, yeah. Alright, well, have a good day, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, sorry about the bad quality. I knit with my not very good phone, just hanging off of my neck. So, thank you very much for watching.